What would happen if nations in Africa decided to stop communicating with the West? Would they thrive alone, or would they be isolated? For many years, Western countries have maintained that Burkina Faso and Africa as a whole would not be able to function without their financial support and military presence. However, the recent shift in relationships suggests otherwise. Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, and Russia have all openly supported Burkina Faso's independence movement and pushed the nation to choose a new path free from Western influence. But this development is unsettling to the West. World powers have criticized President Ibrahim Traoré, the leader of this transformation. Western nations have historically used economic sanctions, political unrest, or even military action in response to leaders who question their hegemony. Will Traoré follow in the footsteps of other African leaders who challenge the status quo, or will Burkina Faso emerge stronger? Breaking colonial chains. The rise of sovereignty in Burkina Faso. Former colonial power France has long held sway over Burkina Faso, influencing its political structure, economy, and military. But under Traoré's leadership, the country is rising to the occasion. Since becoming office in September 2022, he has taken steps to re-establish national sovereignty. The withdrawal of French forces from Burkina Faso on February 8, 2024, a bold proclamation of independence that stunned Africa and beyond, was his most notable action. It wasn't just a nominal expulsion. It was a conscious action against neo-colonial control and toward independence. The Traoré administration made it clear that Burkina Faso will no longer be ruled by foreign powers. Instead, the nation is turning its attention to other alliances, particularly with Russia and South America. This shift reflects a broader rejection of Western dominance across the Sahel, as countries like Mali and Niger follow comparable paths. As might be expected, the West did not take Burkina Faso's defiance lightly. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, wanted explanations right away, but Traoré refused to back down, reiterating the message that Burkina Faso was paving a new path on its own terms. Government spokeswoman Remtalba Jean-Emmanuel Wadiogo rejected any attempts to overturn the verdict. The action sparked global conversation. While some African nations viewed Traoré as a symbol of resistance, others issued warnings about potential repercussions. Burkina Faso is still battling Islamist insurgencies linked to ISIS and al-Qaeda. Thus, security concerns were raised by the French military's exit. The government has begun investigating alternative security alliances, namely military cooperation with Russia, to fill the void. Traoré's approach is centered on creating an autonomous Burkina Faso that is not reliant on Western military operations or financial assistance with political constraints attached. His government is trying to diversify its economy and strengthen economic relations with countries that respect its sovereignty, in addition to making investments in domestic security measures. Burkina Faso's break from the West is a part of a larger African trend. Many nations are reassessing their historical ties with former colonial powers in favor of alliances based on mutual respect rather than need. The shift from neo-colonial entanglements to self-sufficiency may change Africa's geopolitical landscape in the years to come. The main goal of Traoré's plan is to create an autonomous Burkina Faso free from Western military actions and financial assistance with political conditions attached. His government is investing in domestic security measures, diversifying its economy, and enhancing economic relations with countries that respect its sovereignty. A broader African trend is reflected in Burkina Faso's break with the West. Many nations are reconsidering their historical connections with former colonial powers in favor of alliances based on mutual respect rather than dependence. In the years ahead, the shift from neo-colonial entanglements to self-sufficiency may change the geopolitical landscape of Africa.